Give you the story for now. Rand Water will invest up to 28 billion rand over the next 5 years to upgrade and maintain its infrastructure. The water utilities customers, including Gauteng, Mpumalanga and the Northwest, as well as the Free State, should expect further supply disruptions due to maintenance upgrades. We are joined by Sipho Mosai, the CEO of Rand Water. Thank you very much, Mr. Mosai, for your time here on All Angles. 28 billion rand, this sounds like a very big project.
Yes, I think it is. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for having us. I think it revolves really around the nature and the extent of our ability to supply water in the short and in the long term. As you indicate, we cover quite a number of provinces. And for us to do so, we need to have the infrastructure in the long term to ensure that we meet not only the current and the future demands. We have a network of about 3,500 kilometers of pipe. We have pump stations, we have purification works, and a whole host of assets that we need to refurbish, we need to renew, we need to augment, we need to maintain over that period of time. So for us to do so, particularly around pipelines, we need to be bringing in, and we are, with this maintenance schedule, we are bringing in new pipes, and these pipes we need to connect with the already existing pipes. So for us to have this interconnection, it will require of us to, intervene and ensure or reduce water supply in certain areas. In that way, people will be inconvenienced as we augment the system. So essentially, the maintenance schedule that we're talking about that will be running April and onwards will be to put new pipes and connect them into old pipes as part of not only the maintenance program, but our refurbishment infrastructure as well.
Mr. Mosai, was this, for instance, I hear that you're saying that it's already going to start. I'm not sure if you meant this April, as in this month. Was this an open tender, like open so that we, as the public, we can see who's getting the tender, etc.?
No, it's an in-house maintenance schedule.
Okay.
Most of the work we're going to do internally. The actual augmentation and the procurement of the pipes is the one that goes out in the marketplace through, as you rightfully say, through an open tender system. So when you're talking this maintenance, we already procured pipes. We have done the construction. What we are doing, we're linking them with already existing pipes. So there won't be a tender. There's no need to have a tender at this point in time. Yes, we will be working with other contractors to assist with the maintenance program, but most of the work has been done internally. But for anything that we have to do in terms of augmentation of the entire infrastructure, we are going to go out in the marketplace as we have been doing for the last 118 years.
With those external contractors that you might, bring into the internal project, will you be checking on their service level agreements and whether or not they are, still adhering to the agreement with Rand Water as the project keeps going?
Yes, of course. I think these are quite critical. I mean, we're dealing with a very sensitive product here, is water. And indeed, as they say, water is life. If you don't get the right people to do the right jobs for you, you'll not be able to supply water, not only in terms of the quantity, but quality is important. The water that we provide is compliant to national drinking water standards. We check it against European standards. We check it against Environmental Protection Agency of the US. We check against the World Health Organization standards. So we pride ourselves as one of the few countries in the world where you can drink water out of the tap. So for us to be able to do so, that level of efficiency from our contractors, by and large, whether we are augmenting, whether we are maintaining, whether we are operating, the products that we get have to be of world-class standard. So we are very particular and remain steadfast in terms of the contractors, the service providers that we bring on board, precisely because of the nature of the business that we are involved in and the critical importance of issues of health associated with the production and the provision of drinking water within South African context.
How big will the disruptions be, Mr. Mosai? I mean, I remember the last time when Rand Water was busy, particularly in Johannesburg, there was that confusion about the fact that you also supply water to some of your clients, like your Joburg Water, etc., and they were the ones who seemingly were not ready at the time to ensure that residents receive water during that time. So how huge is the disruption going to be?
The maintenance program is dissected into various projects that will affect various or different municipalities differently, or parts of municipalities differently. So we don't have one maintenance project that affects our entire area of operation. So in some of them, we really obviously roll them out and with no disruptions at all. The last big one is that 54-hour one. There are people in Gauteng that even did not feel it. Some felt it immediately, some felt it way after when the system was trying to recover. So it will impact people differently depending on where they are. Some of the areas are high-lying areas. Some of the areas are the low-lying areas. They will get water quickly before the others. It also depends on the timing and the consumptions at that point in time. If the consumption is high, it will take time to recover. So the disruptions will be as minimal as possible. But what we do at any given time before we effect any of this maintenance project, we communicate with our municipalities, who then communicate with the consumers that are likely to be affected, and make the necessary arrangements that during the period of inconvenience, they are able to get water tankers nearby. Those municipalities that have challenges with regards to that, they often engage with us and we work around the plan. So different people will be affected differently.
All right. Thank you very much for your time here on All Angles. That was Sipho Mosai, the CEO of Rand Water.